Doctors just exposed the WNBA's darkest secret, and it's about Britney Griner. Britney Griner just crossed a line, and this time, there's no coming back. What started with a cheap shot and a racial slur is now spiraling into something much darker, because what medical experts are revealing, it doesn't just threaten her career. It could take down the entire WNBA.
It obviously assumed that Britney was male and therefore being topless on the platform was totally fine. It was on here 109 weeks ago, and I believe this was screenshotted and posted a year ago.
The flashpoint. It all started with what looked like just another hard foul. But slow it down, zoom in, and the story shifts. Griner elbows rookie sensation Caitlin Clark mid-play. Not an accident. Then, clear as day, you see her mouth the words, "trash effing white girl." Racially charged, caught on camera, confirmed by lip-reading experts. The moment went viral. But the WNBA, total silence. And that silence sparked questions no one in the league wants to answer. Because what if this wasn't just bad behavior? What if it was a cover for something else entirely?
To the ground. And the next thing you know, the market's like, oh my God, they're doomed.
They're doomed, and good for them. Adam, how much money?
Medical eyes start watching. As the video spread online, it caught more than just media attention. It landed in the hands of sports physicians and medical analysts. And what they saw went beyond trash talk. They started noting physical anomalies, structure, motion, gait, shoulder width far exceeding average female athletes, bone density visible even through the uniform, unusual recovery rates from injuries, muscle patterning that didn't match standard female development, even for elite athletes. And then came the twist.
I wanted them to issue a statement about it, but we have heard nothing from the WNBA, absolutely nothing. And Britney Griner has not commented, which I find significant.
Look. The Instagram post. No one can ignore. An old video resurfaced from Griner's Instagram stories. Topless, posted years ago, but unnoticed until now. And here's where it gets strange. Instagram's AI detection system, built to instantly flag nudity, let it stay up. Why? Because the system, trained on millions of gendered samples, didn't classify it as female anatomy. It treated Griner as male. And experts say that's not just a software hiccup. That's a digital fingerprint.
Basketball. If I told you, tell me the greatest college basketball female basketball players last 30 years.
Clark.
Yeah.
Angel Reese at best is the next Karl Anthony Towns. Shout out to the Knicks.
The evidence mounts. Doctors who specialize in gendered performance evaluation stepped in. They reviewed public footage, injury reports, and now body structure. Key findings: jawline asymmetry consistent with male skeletal patterns, deltoid muscle grouping seen in male athletic development, hip to shoulder ratio well outside female norms, and vocal tonality linked to testosterone saturation levels. Even recovery timelines from previous injuries aligned more with male physiology than female. And if that weren't enough, a deeper dive into her competitive history revealed one massive oversight. There's no record of Griner undergoing comprehensive gender eligibility testing.
And this incident has, of course, gone viral online, but also sparked up some other skeletons in Britney's closet.
Why that matters now? The WNBA relies on minimal documentation and self-identification. But medical professionals argue that's not enough when so much is at stake. Because if Griner was never tested, never verified, then every point scored, every championship won, every opponent she towered over could be invalid. And the consequences? Massive. Imagine titles being reversed, sponsorship deals voided, lawsuits from athletes who lost opportunities, and public trust shattered.
Ever in WNBA. Watch this, folks. Zoom in a little bit if you could. Watch this. Look what's going to come up. This is what she said on the mom and pop WNBA model.
Making their silence on this matter increasingly untenable.
About this. Then Britney Griner is playing a game, and this is what Britney Griner calls
the psychological factor. Sports psychologists started digging deeper too, analyzing her behavior, Not just during the Clark incident, but throughout her career. They identified a pattern: frequent physical domination of smaller players, escalated aggression under pressure, outbursts on and off court, especially when questioned, and an oddly defensive posture whenever her identity was probed, even casually. Their theory? She may be carrying an internal conflict, one she's worked hard to keep hidden. A secret identity layered beneath a public persona. Caitlin Clark's trauma. And what about Caitlin Clark? This wasn't just a foul. She was assaulted by someone with a possible physical advantage and racially insulted in the process. No apology, no disciplinary action, and no league protection. Clark's silence since the incident speaks volumes. Sources close to her say she's focused, but insiders hint she's shaken. Not just from the hit, but from the realization that the league meant to protect her didn't. And if she's the future of women's basketball, what message does that send? Legal firestorm. Incoming. Lawyers are already circling. If it's determined Griner competed with an unfair biological advantage, that could qualify as fraud, especially in high-stakes games and Olympic events. It could even trigger international consequences. Because remember, she played on Team USA. She represented a country. If she did so under false biological pretense, that's not just a scandal, that's a global liability. What the WNBA knows, but won't say. The league hasn't addressed any of this. No statement on the medical reviews, no comment on the Instagram post, no acknowledgement of doctors' concerns. Insiders say they're in panic mode, trying to wait it out. But that tactic isn't working, because every day, new experts are coming forward. And the silence is starting to sound like guilt. The bigger picture. This isn't just about Britney Griner. This is about the foundation of women's sports. The rules, the testing, the trust. If the WNBA allowed someone to dominate without proper verification, what message does that send to every young girl working twice as hard to compete fairly? This isn't politics, this is biology, and the line between the two has never been thinner. The truth always finds its way out, and right now, that truth is knocking at the WNBA's front door. Will they answer, or will they keep hiding behind silence while their league crumbles? Because at this point, the question isn't, what if it's true? It's how long have they known? The bigger picture. This isn't just about Britney Griner. This is about the foundation of women's sports. The rules, the testing, the trust. If the WNBA allowed someone to dominate without proper verification, what message does that send to every young girl working twice as hard to compete fairly? This isn't politics, this is biology, and the line between the two has never been thinner. Tap that like button if you believe women's sports deserve real accountability. Subscribe for more updates on stories they're too afraid to talk about, because this isn't the end. It's only the beginning.